There are three kinds of relationships and associations. Number one, there are general relationships, general associations. Every day you meet with people, every day you get to the bus station, you get to the office, you get to the bank, you get to a restaurant, you interact with people in the marketplace, and the Bible demands that you honor all men. There are general relationships. You can go and meet someone for the first time in the market, and within the 5 minutes you have to spend with the person, you will gist and talk and laugh as though you were born from the same place, and after what you say bye, never to see the person again. General relationships. Number two, there are seasonal relationships. That means these are relationships that are so ordained for seasons, and the key to maximizing these relationships is to position yourself through discernment to know what you need to receive within the time allotted. Are we together now? For instance, there are some of us that God, on account of his desire to lift you, he will carry you and keep you in the house of an uncle, keep you in the house of an auntie, put you under the care of someone to train you. You will not be there forever, but that relationship was for a season, because in his mind he saw that that is the only atmosphere where you will learn character and discipline and diligence. You can spend your 6 years there complaining and saying my uncle is a wicked man, rather than discerning that time is ticking. I should learn quickly what I need to learn. The man you call a wicked man has never begged for bread. The man you call a wicked man is still with his wife. The man you call a wicked man prays in the morning and prays in the night. These are the things you should be learning. God took you from wherever. Oh Moses, he kept you in Pharaoh's house to learn something that you will need later on. Seasonal relationships. Many of you have aborted seasons of greatness in your life because you did not discern relationships that came in certain seasons, politically, ministerially, and so on and so forth. Rather than discerning to say, why did God bring this person, this person? Some of you, God gave you jobs not because of the salaries. There was something and someone you needed to meet there, that after, and you had a 3-year time span to learn it. You spent 2 years complaining, and right now you have about 3 months left. You need grace to catch up quickly. Hear me. There are certain people God took to serve NYSC in regions they did not want. He kept them there to connect them to certain people so they could learn certain things. Every time you are a believer and you are in an uncomfortable environment, know that God allowed you there to see something. If you can look past the pain, and yes, I know that the woman did not treat you well when you are under her care, take your eyes away from her character flaws and learn something about motherhood, because the man you are about to marry, oh Esther, you are marrying Ahasuerus. You have to be trained so God can take you and keep you in an uncomfortable environment. But rather than learning, you are there complaining and say she bought clothes for the children and did not buy clothes for me. It's a stretching to build you. Listen carefully. Many of us have had to recycle seasons in our lives because we could not discern seasons. There is no great man I know who will be honest with you about the story of their life, and you cannot capture in that story times when they were kept in seemingly uncomfortable positions. The man who would later be the Matthias Stephen, did you know he started working in the welfare department? Imagine how much of an insult that would be to him. This guy was bubbling with anointing, wanting to be a man of God, and they say, oh yeah, serve the rice, serve this. Some of you, God will bring you to ministry, and while you are eyeing the pulpit, God will take you straight to the security department and keep you there. And yet in your dreams you are an apostle. It is a training. Don't think God will bring you to the pulpit to come and serve. No. So we have general relationships. Please pay attention. We're getting deeper. We have seasonal relationships. And let me tell you something with seasonal relationships. Seasonal relationships are largely the kinds of relationships that God uses to prepare us for destiny. Some of you can have a 2-week course with certain classmates, and within that 2 weeks, more than what you are learning, God brought you there and connected you to certain people, because 5 years to come you will need one of those people to be used by God to open a door for you. And when you are there, you will love only Christians and hate Muslims. You will love only Christians or love only your tribesmen and hate other people, and the Spirit of God will say you are wasting time, you are not discerning. Everyone there has potential to be used by God to bless you. Are we learning? The third kind of relationship, very quickly, they are called destiny relationships. These are relationships that do not die because there is prophecy on them. General relationships, seasonal relationships, and destiny relationships. These are people who are part of the overall equation of what God is doing in your life. All of these relationships happen to us every day, and we must have the discernment to know who is in my destiny as sent by God beyond my current level. If you do not know this, do you know, many people, especially those who are non-Christians, they know the value of what I'm telling you. They will go out of their way to consult with diviners. Help me check, who are these people who should be in my life? This man, this woman, this business partner, are they correct? And the man can conjure all kinds of powers and say this one is there to stay. He will not help you now, but 15 years after now, this is the man that God will use to lift you. So they will maintain these relationships even when they don't make sense. The man will be a troublemaker for 11 years. And yet you will see the people carrying them like extra luggages. And sometimes you are tempted to say, can't you drive this driver? Send this man out of your house. Except that they understand that in the midst of all of this, there is destiny. Can I tell you, there are people who there is no reason why they should be in your life now, and God will still say keep them, because their relevance is not yet now. If you have the discernment to be patient, the next 20 years of your life can be secured. Yes, sir. I wish I were lying to you. I would have just said sorry, but what I'm saying is so true. If you ignore what I'm saying, you may spend the rest of your life paying the price. Have you seen people that you once knew, and at the time you knew them, there was an opportunity and you knew there was something in your spirit, there was a call for genuine connection? You ignored them either because they had appearances that were not appealing. Welcome to 10 years later of your life, and you find them at the cutting edge of influence, and now you're biting your fingers and wondering, why didn't I say good morning that day? Good morning that day would have equaled an estate today. Are we together? Yeah. In my life, let me tell you sincerely, there are people who have been very nice and kind to me in times past, and sometimes I sit down and I'm meditating, and the Lord just brings in their images and brings in things, and I sit down and say, it's been such a long time. I could call, make calls and say, find out for me about this person. How is he or how is she? How are they doing? And in all honesty, sometimes God just put things in my heart, and I just say, let me surprise this family and do something for them. And they are amazed. Sometimes they call and they are crying and they are saying, Apostle, you mean you could remember us? Your God bless you of yesterday, your helping someone lift a Bible yesterday can be equivalent to the job of your 5 children. You may not know. There are people today, the only bad thing that will happen to them in their life is hellfire, but as far as this earth is concerned, they will never suffer on earth again, because they have stretched like an octopus. They have mastered relationships and put together systems and structures that immune them from failure. Perhaps the only place they may have missed it is not acknowledging the lordship of Jesus, but as far as the earth is concerned, they have sorted their destinies. Every time they make calls, there are memories of their investments in the lives of too many people for them to be ignored. Like Gideon, they will make one call and 32,000 people will come and say, we remember in 1971 you treated us well. What do you want? my son is not able to get to the university, my son is not getting a visa. When I'm the ambassador, bring the passport. They said that there's something, he didn't spell his name well, I will correct it myself. Let me tell you, suffering is relative. Don't generalize it. There are people who were wise enough to say, I can't suffer now and suffer later. So while they were going through the constraints of today, they said, I may not have had the privilege to be educated, I may not have had the privilege to come from a family whose status is noteworthy, but now I will use this opportunity. Can I tell you, there are cleaners today who have become billionaires because they honored their way through cleaning into wisdom that blessed them. And those who were raised in the same house, who trivialized the opportunities, did not learn anything. There are men of God today who, when they started ministry, they didn't even know they would be men of God. They started maybe as secretaries, they started maybe as cleaners, and every time they would go and watch the man of God pray 3 hours, because you are the one who cleans his room, you have that access to see his personal life. Wow, so this is how this man prays. You now go and start doing your own small prayer too, and one day fire falls on your head. From a cleaner, he brings you as an apostle. Are you learning something tonight? Yes, sir. Most of you, the reason, and I'm saying this sincerely from my heart, many of us today, God gave us a chance for a beautiful and a great destiny. We lost it out of lack of discernment. But thank God you are in church. There are many angry people today who keep looking at great people caught across different areas. I used to know this man. Today he is the chairman board of so and so, and he can't even remember me. Question: what investment did you make? You can't just show up in people's destinies and say, remember me. No. Honestly, if you learn what I'm sharing with you tonight, you will come and say thank you tomorrow, because it will grant you the wisdom that will